The festival is nigh!
All right, players are ready, so we will go ahead and get underway here.
What do you think center square is going to be while we get ready?
Give me Ritual Pot center square, but I really want Lord of Blood on the board.
Moog Sewers.
I want Lord of Blood on the board.
Bell-bearing hunters, disgusting.
Consumables only still in the bottom right. No Lord of Blood yet again. He eludes us. Agil plus 0 and consumables only are two fast starting squares, both on the diagonals, granted opposite diagonals. That 2 Knights Cab square is a variant, but it can be done early. That can either be 2 or 3. 2 Knights Cabs is pretty fast. Millicent's Needle is a longer variation of O'Neill. And it's kind of, I feel like the place for that square in the metagame is actually pretty difficult, right? Like sometimes I feel like it's done early and sometimes it's later. I'm kind of curious on your thoughts on that. I know you hate the square though.
I don't hate the square. No. I hated the earlier square. The first iteration of the square was awful. I thought I really did not like rushing O'Neill. I thought it was like it promoted some pretty unhealthy and like lack of counterplay with how weapons work in Weapon Rando. But for the Millicent Needle square, I think addresses all of that. And I do think we've seen it fall out of favor a bit regarding when it's done, because it's not as rushable, but depending on its position, I still think you can absolutely rush it. I don't think we'll see it this game potentially rushed, but because there's just too much important stuff to rush first.
Yeah, I think there's some very interesting weapon choices this game. There is Rotten Staff, granted, like you can't wield it, but it's with Large Club and 14 deck, so if you're going like consumables only, you could go ahead and do that. I also saw like that class that Helios just chose is pretty good. Like the Scythe, actually, the Grave Scythe is a pretty good opening weapon. People don't really think about it because it's a scythe, but it's basically like a halberd with bleed, right? Like it's pretty good in the opener. And actually, I prefer the R1s a little bit. There's Spike Club, more than a few options of like starting class here. Also the Vagabond starts with the Okina mask. So thank you, Harv. I think that was recently added. I think that was there was a last minute update to the randomizer to add in some new equipment, including the Okina mask. And it's good to see that here now.
Yeah, I think they both win classes that can do consume only. They both with Land Between's Ruins. I think because of its square positioning, we're probably going to see a consume only race.
I mean, I think you could do a Gil plus 0 with this weapon too, like offer it. Like it's not great, but I think you very much could. Like,
I think the problem with that right away is I don't think you get a guaranteed stagger.
It's not guaranteed, but the poise damage is still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Like you have to pray to RNGesus a bit, but your poise damage is going to be pretty good. Just not insane.
Yeah, I mean, the thing too about consume only being done by both of these players potentially is that it shows that neither of them are going to rush crackpots. They don't pick the runes up or the plot for starting, so they're going to have to maneuver their way around that. You can do that in some other ways. The Saintsbridge Merchant for one, for example, but well, and I think Drake Talismans too is why you also do consume, because you run onto that. That's just hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
Hard to make these calls, right? Because races, losing an early race for tempo is challenging sometimes. I feel like you can come back from, especially if you also don't get a lot of map progression from it.
Yeah,
which
like
is kind of one of these issues here, right? Like you don't get any map progression really for consume. So if you lose it, it kind of feels pretty bad.
And the problem, like that we saw yesterday, like if you could lose the consume race, like you're just straight up behind on the next square too. Like you are just like it is a double whammy, because you are, behind you, like behind granted a few seconds, but still that matters, right? On whatever your next action is, and you don't get the square, right? And if you started Lands Between rune, like you've wasted your 3k, right? or some of it.
Yeah.
It's like Asym though is actually choosing to go differently, choosing to go for a Geel.
A Geel? Interesting. Interesting.
Look, if he gets it, I think it's very good. Like it's also a very strong square, both on diags. The consume only will be free, or should be in theory at least. The Agil, this is a bit risky, right? Because Scythe is a good weapon, but it doesn't have like square off or super crazy poise damage. So especially without Torrent, you're gonna have to hope for some good RNG here. We're gonna go full screen with Asym as he starts the fight. All right, Agil flies up there, but it's not the end of the
RNG
world.
on what type of fly it is.
Yeah. Yeah, see, like he gets the stagger quick. It's just like not quite as fast as you would like.
Oh, I don't have the attack though, I think. But it's okay. Well, the bleed's nice. Yeah, I mean, if he gets good RNG for the rest of this fight, it's gonna be a really fast square. It looks like if he doesn't miss this, that's good.
Yeah, really fast.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, that's one of the things with the Geel, right? As well, it can be risky. Not having it, having it pay off is really important when you go for it as early. He actually beats the mark of to Helios on consumes, which is kind of crazy how good that fight went.
Yep, we'll now go with Helios. Sorry.
What happened with?
I'm fixing it.
Okay,
he got it. It's from the crash.
Like,
it's from the crash. No, it's from the crash. Yeah.
That's okay. I was very confused.
Yeah. Helios got it.
Yay!
Yeah.
Unsurprising.
Yeah, it's because the way OBS works with the with the screens, like when I normally, like at the start of the game day, I'm saying like, oh, follow, in this case, it was like Rambler's Twitch, right? And then as long as your PC stays on and OBS stays open, it will just auto update as you change the tab, right? But when my PC bricked, right, it's still looking for Rambler's stream, but Rambler's isn't up. So,
right. I wonder, here's the thing, where do they go to now, right? This is kind of a big... The next steps are really important. I was counting, by the way, so there is enough Kaled and a Kaled adjacent squares to make this, like, Kaled, or not Kaled, Altus, sorry. And I would suggest it puts significant pressure on them to not delay it too much. There's also some other good synergies, Cleanmart Knight Duo with Knights in their name. We have Drake Talismans, obviously. We have 5 Sacred Flasks, which for Drake Talismans, do a bit of Weeping, 2 Misbegotten bosses. There's like, I think we've talked about this a lot, but I really like the boards that we get now in this season because they have so much, like, it's hard to have the most correct play.
Yeah.
Like, every play can have some merit in terms of its value, and I'm really into that.
I also think it's really unique how, like, the first game was a very late board, the second game was a very early board, and now this board is pretty balanced to me. Probably. Also, I think it was very funny. They're both players. Helios starting from the north side, while Asym going from the south side, and they both just went the opposite direction.
That is very funny. Did a little grace swapping.
Yeah.
We have Knights Calves early from Helios.
See, I like the early Knights Calf. Like, I actually think this is a real option. Like, 2 Knights Calves, if you have bleed, as like long as you don't get hit, like, it's really...
My brother in Christ, I am over here.
It's a stall, but it's very doable. And especially in this situation, right? Like, you block the other diag, right? While building up your own column 5. So I really don't hate this at all.
God.
Not only that, but the part that I really like about this too is that it promotes you going into Weeping, which isn't bad for other squares. And it, like, gold free as a bingo block is like a real shit block to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that worked.
And so I really actually like this. So 3 runes bosses can be done all pre-Altus too. Like I really like this play from Helios.
And Helios might even try to set this up actually and just go for Pumpkinhead now.
Yeah, I mean you might as well get you a grace for gets you a closer grace towards Dectus.
No, it looks like he's going probably to Fort Height here.
Just gonna grab the Fort Height.
Yeah, either going to Fort Height or just setting up the Grace by Dare Will.
Okay. Okay.
Also, for anyone wondering, like, yo, why doesn't he just throw the Knight's Cav and Kaled off the cliff? Like, that would be a Kaled boss and a Knight's Cav. As cheeses are illegal, right? So any type of gravity cheese or that sort of thing, you just cannot do. He's got to fight the boss straight up.
Yeah.
Oh, Knight's Cav and Weeping, right? Knight's Cav and
That's
Weeping.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It goes to Weeping, grabs the Knight's Cav, and this is kind of what I like about the play, is that it pushes him to go there a lot earlier. But I don't think I think Weeping it's not something to sleep on at all. Like I think there's quite a lot of value in Weeping on this board.
Yeah, I didn't think of it because when I normally do the square, I do the Liurnia Highway one, the one where Asym's at. I typically prefer that one because, generally speaking, Weeping is not even generally, just Weeping is worse than Liurnia on almost every board, right? Liurnia is probably the most valuable region. So prefer to go for that one.
Yeah, just the benefit of this again is that like Weeping has I mean the trade-off of Weeping, right? I experienced this in a game recently, is that you lose early map progression, but if you can set up a big enough threat, it can be okay. You know, you can kind of compensate with that loss of map progression. We'll have to see. It's actually going to be
Helios doing that hammer check, which actually isn't bad. Like, you're not going to get a great weapon from the hammer check, but in a dry seed, like if you get Nox Flowing Hammer, Ringed Finger, or Flowerstone Gavel, they're not good, but they're more than serviceable weapons if the seed is dry. Plus, he gets a merchant check here. So see what he gets.
Coil Shield, my beloved, but it's not your day, so see you
Oh,
later.
I saw a butchering knife. Was that Bonnie? I didn't see though if that was Bonnie's or the other one.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, good hitbox.
If it's Bonnie's
Good
is
hitbox.
you don't see it very often, but it's solid, right?
Very good. Yeah, no, it's good. Worth getting for sure.
Like I'd say probably, I don't know, like B tier weapon probably somewhere around there.
Yeah, I mean I'm partial to it. I enjoy it quite a lot. I think the problem, I guess, but one of the things that makes it a little less good
than it looks.
It doesn't do any status effect, but as a somber weapon, it's like very serviceable if you don't have anything else.
And it is greasable. It is the, other than Bloodhound's thing,
greasable.
it's the only other greasable somber to my knowledge.
No, Vare's as well. You can grease a Vare's bouquet as well.
Okay. Relevant. It's
Wow,
a somber
okay,
weapon that isn't a bouquet
That
of
also does less
flowers.
damage than it
Okay, I'll be
should.
using Vare's in my game tomorrow, if I can, out of spite. I'll kill the War Dead Catacomb Free Spirit with it, and there's the Knight's Cav for Helios.
It's got for Helios. And also, Asym did start with Crackpot, so is going to do the Crackpot square.
Oh yeah, he did, yeah. I thought he started with
Interesting that
Queen.
both the Diags are just immediately shut down 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I think the problem that Asym's going to run into, though, is that I think that line is like surely he sees it and thinks, okay, well, like if he does night calves, you know, the hope that Asym sees if he did night calves this fast, he's obviously in Weeping, right? Like it's hard to know where else he'd be.
Well, I think Asym could be running into a bit of a disaster here, actually, because I think he's going to try to contest Drakes, right? Like, in theory, it's like you wouldn't expect a Drakes or whatever to be done, like, if someone wins consumables only. Also, it would set up both of column 1 and row 4 for Asym. However, like, Helios has a lead on Drakes in that he's already next to the Rune Bear. Asym does have a Liurnia advantage, but there's no Drake Talismans in Liurnia. Well, the Imbued Keep, but that's not really relevant especially in terms of a rush.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, both of those hit me really.
I think Asym may be in a bit of
Because
trouble.
Asym does look like he's going hard into Drakes here.
Ow.
I mean, Helios getting bodied by this bear, though. That's a statement I know you like to hear out loud, Who's, but no.
I prefer otters personally.
Understandable. I
They keep
also
very straight
was
that
a
when it's not
coward at
really
one time.
possible.
But anyway, I'm done being stupid. Time for a different, or it's a family-friendly show. So, and yeah, I don't know. I think if you're Asym, what do you? I think you need to start thinking about
Here,
a
it's
way
possible.
to block that line. Like, I don't think you can just let it sit, right? Like, in perpetuity.
Yeah.
Like, it's too gold free is not. I mean, like, realistically, like, it's hard because on one hand you think there's no way he would do gold free, but do you really want to risk that, right? Do you really want to risk getting bingo through that? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. Like, I don't know. I will tell you, I'll give you all insight into how I play. I tend to be one of the players who's just like, you know what, like, it's the way I tend to evaluate those things is where it's like, well, when you're the player who's behind, I feel like if you go for the gold free square, like, you're pretty screwed either way.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
in my opinion, generally in those situations, your highest probability of winning is just hoping that they don't go for it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why is because, like, if you both go for it, it's 50-50, right?
Totally.
And then, like, of the other, if the other person doesn't go for it, then you lose, right? So, like, that gives you like a 25% chance of winning. I guess it's like, it's kind of 25% chance either way, depending on like how you look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I prefer to just not go for it and hope. Overall, though, dry weapon seed, serpent bone blade so far, so nothing really good.
No round table check though, right? So we have a whole
No round table.
suite of shops to check still.
Yeah, but Helios is continues to go for Drakes here.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get it. I mean, if you're Asym, I don't think I mind if you kill the rune bear, for the Drake talisman, and then you figure out somewhere else to go. I don't know. I feel like this is hard. I don't know if Asym really respects. Sorry, Helios pushing this line as much as he should.
Well, I think Asym's idea is Helios is gonna try to abuse Prio on Drakes with consumables. Like, he's not gonna expect for me to go for it, so as a result, I'm gonna go for it, snipe it, and then try to push one of my lines.
Right.
Because they're faster, right? They don't involve capital. I think that's the game plan for Asym, but Helios, it's not gonna work out for him, especially because, like, the problem is when that crackpots gets marked, right? You signal, hey, I was just in Bofa Cave. So now Helios is like, oh, like that priority that I thought I had on Drakes. I have my priority. I might still have priority, but it's like 15 seconds worth of priority rather than like a minute or 2 minutes or whatever. So like by getting crackpots, you tell Helios like, hey, you got to start thinking about Drakes, bud. Like right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also the time of priority like matters differently, like in the different stages of the game, right? Like early on, 1 or 2 minutes of priority is a big deal. When you get later into the game, 1 or 2 minutes, it's like, yeah, of course, like it matters, but it's like whatever. Your time is the most valuable at the start of the game. Early deaths can snowball and just destroy you, right? It's like you only lose 2 minutes, but like a death like a death on one square slowing you down turns into a snipe, turns into loss of progress, turns into this, turns into that, and then like it just snowballs out of control, right?
Totally.
Losing time in the early game is a big problem. In the late game, still sucks, right? You never want to lose time, but it matters less.
Okay. Oh, this is gonna be a sad snipe for Asym.
Yeah.
He's full committing to it. I mean, I guess like if he wants to respect Prio, maybe he goes and grabs like Ionia Swamp, East Grace, the East Side Grace there, to be closer to Ruins bosses and clean Rotten Knight duo. right? Like I get my concern is that he's going to kind of get a bit bodied by the time loss and not really having like an alternative route that he's setting up in any way.
I mean, the advantage, I think the advantage that Asym has, right, is like he did set up Liurnia, right?
Yeah.
But which is a map advantage, but also it's what's going to cost him the square.
Yeah.
I wonder if Asym was expecting Liurnia Knight's Cav, because honestly, that's what I would have been expecting. For some reason, I always forget about Weeping Knight's Cav, because I just tend to think it's suboptimal. Because if it's Liurnia Knight's Cav, then it's a 50-50 race. But if it's Weeping Knight's Cav, you're screwed. So yeah, Asym's gonna see this. This is gonna be a pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Asym, like he said, he even said there, like I think he did the same exact thing as me. I wonder if he just he might have forgot about the Weeping Knight's Cav, because honestly, like when that square, I didn't think about it either.
It was just so early. I mean, I guess you could go do the one in Liurnia and North Grace right early, but
yeah,
it's one of those things where if you look at the board is so good for
Weeping.
Weeping that it is a bit of an error to not go there on that end.
And having with Sacred Flask on the board, actually having the Grace and Weeping by the Merchant actually helps with that square a lot, because it makes the Frenzied Church. I don't know if that's the technical name for it, but is it? I might be wrong.
I'm not sure. We know the church,
that church is way more viable, because you just go grab the Sacred Tier, then there's a little skip you can do down to get to the other two Sacred Tiers. If you start from the, what would that be, the northwest side of Weeping, it's a lot harder to get to the Frenzy Church than if you start from the southeast.
Yeah. Damn. Well,
because yeah, Helios can actually, like, if he wanted, he could go pick up that Sacred Flask +5 square, and then I mean at that point, if he does go get it, like Asym's pretty blocked in terms of his early lines. Let's see what we have at round table.
We could Golden Fist. Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm a little slow. I need to get better at hiding the I'm trying to remember to hide the camera whenever they check a merchant. Yeah, and I was a little slow. Because yeah, normally the camera positioning's fine, but when they check a merchant, it's bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it cuts off half the shop. Yeah,
it is not a good spot. Other than that, of course. But
I gotta say, I like having the cameras though. Like it makes me feel like for those who choose to have it, makes me feel like the players are here with us. Oh my god, is this gonna be another snipe?
On what? What do you think?
Millicent Needle.
Oh man.
Oh god.
That would be just tragic.
I mean, I get why Helios has done more. Like they've both done weapon checks, and they're like, "Oh, I don't have a good weapon. Let's go kill O'Neal, and we can also check a halberd." Like I get why they're both doing it.
The thing about I get what I like about the square change is because before, right, this snipe would be so much worse for Asym because he would have gotten nothing out of what he does. At least this way, if he gets sniped, he gets
he'll still get the halberd.
And 12k runes, right? So it's one of those things where it's not good. Ideally, he doesn't get sniped, I think, right? But in getting sniped, it could be so much worse. So
yeah. Also, really heads up play by Helios here, putting the Verdigris armor back on, just saying like, hey, I don't care if I'm heavy load right now. I'm riding a horse, and it makes me more likely to survive a shot.
Yeah.
So pretty heads up.
We like that. Man, I don't know. It's so hard to be on this side because we can see everything, right? And
yeah.
My brain is on fire for Asym if he gets sniped. And plus, I know Asym. I love him a lot. He is a bit of a tilter sometimes. And it's hard not to be. Snipes are brutal. They feel awful. Like nothing about them feels good. They're just sort of like demoralizing, especially when they feel really close. But I think being able to refocus and still maintain composure after is hard. So I can appreciate the type of mental pressure it puts on everybody. But I mean, one of my favorite things is having Asym turned up all the way when I was playing games in bingo in our server, so I can just hear him rage. It's
I gotta say, like,
a favorite of mine.
In this case, it's kind of hard to fault Asym, right? Like, I wouldn't necessarily like Millicent's Needle's kind of a weird score to go for right now. Like, doesn't like anything could happen, right?
Yeah.
But one thing I have noticed is like, it is true that like the best players tend to avoid snipes a lot and like just are doing like completely divergent ideas, right? Like if you watch the playoffs from last season, very rarely, like outside of the early game, are people ever working towards the same square. Like snipes are just so like, you talk about one thing, Ellie, you talk about a lot is like unhealthy RNG with weapon checks, right? Like snipes are kind of like a version of unhealthy RNG where it's like it swings the game so heavily on like a matter of seconds. And because of that, like I always find like when it gets especially when it gets down to playoff times, like people are so snipe adverse.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised.
Except I think Asym's gonna get this because Helios is grabbing the Grace, but Asym just beelined it.
And Asym, they both have Millicent's Grace up top, right? So this is literally a reverse snipe. Now that's content. That's content, baby. That's what we say around here. I've been working all day. I'm just, you're catching me out of work, so I'm a little loose. But yeah, I mean, same principle, just sucks on the other half of it, right?
Yeah.
This will be feel pretty bad for Helios.
I mean, I'm kind of happy about this though, like because I'm always rooting for a close game, right? Like,
yeah, of course.
If it was 4-4, it'd be tough, or 4-2, it'd be tough, right? Especially against Helios. You don't want to be down significantly early against Helios.
Totally.
Wait, what is Asym doing?
What? Did he just throw the square? Did he quit out and then not
honestly
tuck the
I'll be
gallery
honest,
again?
I don't know the most efficient dialogue for this because I don't play, but
he quit out and then he must have teleported without getting the needle. Oh, he's gonna be so mad if you go on his camera when this is marked.
I have to do it, right?
Yeah. He knows. Oh, he's so quiet. It's almost worse when they're quiet.
The silence is deafening.
The brooding anger is worse. Oh, that hurts, man. Because he has like that's as Rambler says, it's always the snipey's fault. There's a big Rambler mantra, and this is not any. That was Asym's mistake, right? Like he didn't get the needle. He ported too quickly, and he lost the square on that alone.
Yeah. People are mad. Especially someone like Asym, he's actually mad if he doesn't like cuss and throw a fit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right, like especially like if he was like, this fucking sucks, this is bullshit, like he's not that mad. Like he's mad, but like the silent like, yeah, this is fine. Yeah, it's fine. We're fine. Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, like that's like okay.
That's worse.
Yeah, that's
so
much worse. Like it sounds better. Like it sounds like, oh, he's okay. Like he's still got his like that's way worse of a reaction.
If you touched him right now, he would throw you off a cliff.
I mean, look how red his face is.
Yeah, he's pissed.
Yeah,
that ain't the California sun.
No.
That's making him that red. That's his anger there. That's hard. Like it's hard when you get sniped because you fuck up, right? That's actually the worst feeling.
Yeah, because he had that square.
Yeah. It reminds me of my game against Alex for the first game of qualifier, and the reason I lost Drake talismans is I went to the spell chest instead in Celia. I'm like, well, That was
And
me.
the thing is,
That was
like,
my fault.
had Asym won that square, Helios would have had the same reaction, because Helios would have been like,
Of course.
I shouldn't have grabbed the fucking grace. Like, grabbing
Yeah,
that grace
yeah.
cost me the square. That's I don't know. Like, obviously, grace is like, it's like fun when someone gets sniped like that, but it's also
For us,
like,
in the
it's
most
like
awful
fun,
way.
but it's also like the part of me that's like, who's your friend is like, haha,
Yeah.
funny, right? But like the part of me that's like, Elden Square's organizer, I know how much you guys put into this. I'm just like gutted.
Yeah,
Also,
I don't know.
Helios fucked up the Liurnia skip.
That's impressive.
Pain.
Pain.
He is human after all.
Oh, you know what? No one's immune to nerves. That's okay.
He fucked it up twice too.
No one's immune to nerves twice.
you, yeah.
Asym killing the scarab in the slowest way possible.
Mm.
Gets the somber. Yeah, so I mean, do you? Are
We gotta
you,
watch
so,
him do this now. He can't fuck this up.
Okay.
There's no way he fucks this up again, right?
If I count icons as an alt
I
square,
mean-
it is an alt square. I don't know if I counted it, so it's a 6 or 7. Nope.
Yeah.
Oh my god, how do we get the quit out?
All right, Rambler, you win. Rambler,
He's in his
you
head
win.
now.
I'm going bridge.
He's going bridge.
Let's not.
That's insane.
dumb
That's a surprising L.
Helios getting
Helios.
forced into bridge. This is a historic day.
This feels. I feel like I'm watching the wrong
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Like I'm watching a movie I didn't consent to.
The 3-time champion, the Liurnia skip.
Holy shit! Who wrote that?
Shaka.
Oh my god, Shaka. Of course, Shaka.
Yeah.
Too funny. But no, oh, have they killed, they killed Yura? Well, we know Helios killed Yura. Have they? They didn't check Bell Merchant, Mistwood Merchant. There's some weapon checks to do.
There's still weapon
there's
checks.
time.
There's still axe check.
Yeah.
All right, Asym looks like he is going ruins bosses, like you called for.
Yeah, I just think you can't not, like, you don't want to risk losing it. I mean, not having a weapon online to do it's going to be a little tricky, but I mean, luckily you only have to do one, like, you know, scaled one in the form of a Kaled one. You can do most of them before Kaled.
Well, I don't think he's gonna hard rush this. I think he's just going for the efficiency play of getting this while he's making his way to Fort Height.
Yeah, totally.
Because like sometimes when you're down, you need to go for these like extra greedy efficiency plays.
Yeah, and the good part about this too is it gets. Oh, why is he? Is there sorcery? Am I dumb? No, he's not getting the sorcery. I thought he was grabbing the sorcery merchant, but nope. I'm a bozo. Yeah, I was gonna say it would be good for him to get like Mistwood Merchant check. Hopefully, Merchant has something good. That'd be nice.
It will be very nice. I feel like the seeds have been a lot, especially compared to last season, like they've been a lot drier. But honestly, I kind of like it because there is some element of it that does like introduce a bit more like unhealthy RNG. But also I like how it rewards you for like really doing your checks, and as well as like I've seen a lot more weapons recently than I have in the past. Like I know you like are a big proponent of the smithing route, and I feel like more than anything it's just for like consistency.
Yeah, I actually like the way that the weapons pan out, because I think like one of the cool parts about bingo is being forced into bad or like suboptimal weapon scenarios and then having to play yourself out of them. I think that's actually pretty fun. I think like there are some issues with that when we have some weapons in that we have like can make that really volatile, but overall as a concept, I think the weapon randomizer is so much more fun than like what vanilla would be. Would it be like, you know, Uchi or Bloodhound's Fang every game, or Golden Hot, like, right? It'd be such a boring way to play otherwise.
It's what you
sign a lot more.
it's what you sign up for, and like I think also that's a reason why like playoff matches are best of 3, right?
Yeah.
To try to like increasing the sample size to try to balance out like weapon, like different types of variants, whether it be like square set or weapon, but like ultimately it's the game that we signed up for, right?
Yeah,
I think
it only
everyone
feels
does
bad when somebody
yeah,
has,
it
like,
feels
its
bad sometimes,
crap
like
on and one person doesn't, right? Otherwise it's fine.
yeah, like everyone has like different levels of tolerance, I think, for where like they think healthy RNG is, right?
Yeah.
Because I like you play weapon rando because without RNG it's just not fun, right? But with too much RNG it's not balanced and healthy. Like the line is different for everybody, but I think overall it's in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I think a part of this spot, like why it's in such a good spot, feels like because of things that we've done, like some really intentional
Yeah.
changes. Like, I think a good example of that for me is again like the Millicent square we see today. Like that square before, I think is a lot more caustic when it's the like what's it called? When it's the just killing O'Neal, because it just let too much it just let too much like happen for free with your opponent to have very little counterplay. If you lost it, right, you're not going to go do it again. And it could be one of the most powerful like weapons in the game. So for Bingo's purposes, so like
Yeah.
I'm happy that's not a part of it, but I also am like we've done some changes and I think now it's in a pretty good spot. And I like the innovation that you need to have,
Yeah.
especially with smithing routing.
Yeah, and also I mean part of it just like the reality of like Elden Ring, right? Like the
Yeah, of
weapons are
course.
just so imbalanced. At least with no setup, right?
Yeah,
And
they
like
are.
for bingo, right? Like the game's not made for bingo, right? And it's like you can't make new weapons, and like we don't want to change the game so much that it doesn't feel like Elden Ring anymore. It's like it is difficult for sure.
Yeah. I can't. Did Whisper Merchant not have anything?
I
Did
might
he
do
see
that.
me check
He had
Whisper?
either
World
Death
doesn't seem
Knight's
like a
Twin
bad-
Axe or Death Knight's Long Halved.
Check.
Oh, where's he?
Nothing
Bone
there either.
Merchant?
I mean,
Holy
this,
shit.
yeah, this is dry. Like,
This is.
I don't know. I actually think you could just run Scythe. I think if you put
I think
Frost and
Asym is
Bleed on
grabbing the
the,
smithing stones because he is going to do axe check and then otherwise run scythe. I think it's exactly
yeah,
what we're
like
seeing.
Frost and Bleed on site, like it's a halberd with Frost and Bleed, like
Yep,
essentially,
that's
and
fine.
better good R1s too. Like I think it's perfectly fine.
Sounds good to me. Really, at this point.
I mean, you
right,
have
what else do
other options. I like there was Mikkel and Night Sword. It's not great, but it's not like the worst thing.
Yeah. There's
I
Latest
actually
Sword
think
wasn't
this
there, too.
is a little insane, but I think for Helios you could potentially consider an early Dragonkin because of the pressure that it applies as well as the halberd check. But except no, because you can't get Dragon Halberd there. Or at least you're very unlikely to. So it's like why? I guess you're better off just
Golden Halberd, I guess, where you've already seen
yeah,
that
but the odds,
and...
yeah, it's more about like there's 2 good halberds in the pool, right? So if
Right.
one of them is eliminated, like your odds of hitting are 50% less.
Right, this is true.
Trying to think, like I think this is also where it's important to like try to route in your checks, as well as maybe like auxiliary techs. Like something that stands out to me, like potentially you could think about Caelid Magworm because it's a tunnel, it's a Caelid boss, and it's a katana check. Death Touched is not that far, right? You need
No.
Caelid access anyways, so Oreblade check isn't bad. Yeah,
I really think we're gonna see Asym just rock out the...
yeah, or you
The
just
scythe.
rock this out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially because like tunnels and precipices on the board. Like, just go, like, just you either pick up the smithing stones or just get the damn bell bearing right for the tunnel.
Yeah, I don't think I do, because I don't think I do that on this board, because I think you can do tunnels. I think the Magmorm tunnel and Caelid is a little more synergistic, and the precipice is like, we're already 35 minutes in. I don't think you have really
Yeah.
time to do that.
Oh, this is interesting. This is so Helios is doing the weeping
what is this
incants
one?
routing.
Oh, that's an incant.
Yes.
What incant is it normally?
Weeping, I don't know. I just know I I don't know the route specifically, but I know that there is a Weeping Incants route that Helios knows.
I know there's one. I think there's one on the way to Leonine. I thought on the poison where the slugs are. I believe there's one, but
it is normally Divine Fortification.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you, Shura, the local Elden nerd. Well, one of many.
Yeah, listen, we
One
have
of
lots
many.
of those. We're a whole server of them, really.
Yeah, so this is gonna be Sacred Flask +5 for Helios, and the thing is, like, you've now boxed in Asym, right? Like he has no progress towards any bingo threats now. Once you get Sacred Flask +5.
Yeah.
Which feels bad, man.
Yeah, especially if you're in the player with the early majority too. Like it's really nice to get that, boxed in threat for your opponent, because now your opponent has to like play a majority game that you already have a head start in.
And what's crazy is there aren't many bingos left for Asym. Fire Prelate blocks unless I'm missing something, I think Fire Prelate shuts down the board.
Yeah, Fire Prelate's the last square that does sort of shut down like any sort of bingo threat.
Like blocking the entire board in 6 squares is very good. Normally it's about 7 to 8 squares to block the entire board. Helios doing actually, okay, this is interesting. He's doing Darrowil as a night boss and also a
curved sword check.
Curved great sword check.
I don't dislike this at all.
Granted, you can't really get Bloodhound Fang here, or at least it's highly
Zamorous is
unlikely.
like the one you're looking for, I'm assuming, right? Like,
well, yeah, if not Bloodhound, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I remember looking at it, and in theory, I think Onyx Lord's Greatsword works, but I've never seen it done in practice.
I get it. It's just the stats distribution, if I remember, is so whack, and I've never used it before. I've usually felt like it's not that dry.
That is there.
There it is. I mean,
yeah. I in theory, I think it's very usable, but I've never actually seen someone use it in practice.
Is it going to equip the Source Seal? I hope he remembers to do so. He hasn't equipped it yet.
It is 20 strength, 16 dex, and 16 int. So like it's not great, but it's not that bad either. Like that's very doable.
It's just awkward for what it is.
No, like it's similar stat requirements to like Oreblade, but you're not getting Oreblade. You're getting a C tier weapon, right?
I really hope Asym equips that little
Source Seal.
Source Seal, so he doesn't get one shot by Gillick. That'd be super cool. But I think he may just be either super focused or tilted, or a combination of all three. But where is he going now, I wonder?
We're back to Stormhill Shack.
Bellbearing Hunter?
Is he getting these smithing ones down
smithing
here?
ones. Yeah, I'm assuming he needs those last ones for his routing. And then Kale for the last few ones.
Yeah, if you're Asym, like you get the block on ruins, but like, I guess my question is like, what's your route to actually win? Like what's your if you're Asym, like obviously not a good spot, right? Let's keep it a buck. But like, let's say you get your block on ruins bosses. What's your actual line to win and not to just like survive longer?
I think doing prelate is like, if you're gonna kill, if you get into, once he gets his weapon upgrade, he can easily grab prelate and start pushing, and then I would actually probably do that into Radon. Like Memory of Grace and Misbegotten bosses are probably like the 3 squares that he can focus on. That's a Caleb boss. It gives him Memory of Grace, gives him access to larval tiers. It's a faster way of doing Misbegotten than Leonine.
Yeah.
I think he's greeting his smithing stones, which is the problem.
Draconic. I mean,
Let's grab the
Draconic
twos
and
here.
Draconic to set up Capital and Deep
Yeah.
Altus, as well as Memory of Grace, potentially works. Because Draconic's exactly 50k, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even like it's center square. If you have Frost and Bleed, Dragon Barrel, Bellbearing Hunter.
I don't. Yeah, you can go for that eventually. I don't think you need to right away.
Yeah, I mean it's not super valuable. It's just like I'm saying Dragon Barrel, Bellbearing
Yeah,
Hunter
yeah.
because that's Memory of Grace at 50k as well, right?
That is. Yeah. I don't know. This is tough. This is tough.
Okay, Nartok has checked the logs and he said that Dragon Halberd. I'm assuming Dragon Halberd's at Tree Cent.
Of course it is when there's no
Yeah, of course.
3% on the board.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I do like what is nice about the Draconic in the Memory of Grace play. Like, if you have it set up, you have a chance to sneak a bingo or at least sneak something there because they're on the same line. Right. Draconic Memory of Grace, then you're forcing Helios to guess between Fire Prelate and Clean Rot Duo. I think you go Clean Rot Duo. I think the line for me would be, if I'm Asym, get one or two, get like a larval tier now just to have it prepped. Then drew Draconic Memory of Grace, Clean Rot Duo, anticipating that Asym's gonna go Clean Rot, anticipating Helios to go Clean Rot Duo since you have Altus Prio. Then after Clean Rot Duo, you go Fire Prelate, and then just pray to God you get larval tiers. I think that's like actually is a decent line. In terms of like path to victory.
Yeah, I don't dislike that either. Man.
Especially because like I think you can play into Helios's like hubris a little bit. Because like in that situation, Helios should go larval tiers, right? Like larval tiers makes the most sense in that it's like the least synergistic and like worst square on the line. But I think you could play into Helios's ego a little bit and say like you're not, and just like bet that he's not going to go larval tiers, even though he probably should.
Yeah. Where's he going though? Where's Asym
Yeah, I mean,
doing
also
here?
there's the option. Like, there's the thing. Like, Sirius makes a good point actually. Like, Rotten Staff was in a starting class.
Yeah.
Like, obviously they both need. Like, you do kind of need weapons to start, but like,
he's gonna do Rune Boss. He's gonna grab the Rune Boss here, which I don't dislike. And then you grab the one in Altus.
well, he already got Gillikus. This is the third.
I already killed Gillica. I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
I was
this
like,
is his third
this
runes
is what I
boss.
know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you do this, then do you just send Fort Prelate to try and put pressure on that line and the Memory of Grace? Like, I
would
don't know.
I would send DTS in Memory of
DTS?
Grace, because like at the very least, if you don't get the line right, at least you're getting 2 squares, right? Like,
Yeah, that's true. And you don't need
and DTS is much better progress towards capital, right? Which could come into play later. There is Goldfree, Morgott, and 3 Remembrances on the board. As well as
yeah, he's on his way to kill Gillica now. That'll be his
okay,
third.
never mind. I thought he did. Okay, he'll go to Gillica right now. But also you do get deeper Altus progress. So like you have the Altus Bellbearing Hunter set up. You have and like you have Incant set up because you'll get that along the way. You have Lightning Ram set up, as well as like the capital squares, of course. So I think given the amount of progression as well as just like literal square count that you get from Draconic and Memory of Grace, you go for it. Even though Helios might just immediately go Fire Prelate here to block stuff, that's, I mean, it's not ideal, but you're trading 2 squares for 1 and you're getting a map progress advantage. Like, you don't, it's not the best exchange, but at the very least, it's a guaranteed, like, you win that exchange guaranteed.
That's true. That's true.
Because hypothetically now, Helios goes Fire Prelate while Asym goes Draconic, right? It's a 6-5 game in Helios's favor, but Asym's up on map. Like, that's not horrible. That's very manageable. It's I think he's still behind, But like
I think he's gonna go fire prelate. I think he wouldn't be leaving here if he wasn't gonna go fire prelate next. So I mean, I don't disagree with your. I mean, the thing is that my Radon play doesn't matter as much now that you got runes bosses.
Yeah.
Right, because it was the idea was to get misbegotten, but that doesn't matter a ton, obviously, if you're getting this. Maybe he's not going fire prelate. Maybe he's gonna go DTS.
Yeah. I also think given that you have ruins bosses, if Helios assumes that that's Gillica, I think that makes Helios more likely to go DTS.
Yeah.
Like you gotta, like, this is for Asym, he's gotta get a little mind gaming here and like try to find a snipe, right? Like it's obviously not a clean wine to win, and like you go this and this and this and this and you're guaranteed to win, right? Like it's not like it's dirty, right? But you're down, you gotta win dirty, right? Like you gotta hope for a dirty play like that to pay off.
Yeah. I don't. Oh, he's gonna go Radon.
Also different weapons here. So Asym's better. Weapons much better. Asym has the scythe with Hoarfrost Stomp. Helios has Mickle and Nightsword, which actually, like, I don't know, it's really not that bad. Sacred Blade damage isn't great, but Sacred Blade makes up for it. Like, it's somber. It works, right? But definite weapon advantage here for Asym. I actually really like this Grave Scythe a lot.
Me too. Honestly, this is one of those weapons where I probably would have done a little less checks and just ran with it. But they were efficient with their checks though, which is good.
Yeah, I've done a playthrough like if you get a scythe, obviously this isn't happening in bingo, but if you get a scythe with spinning weapon and blood flame blade, holy shit, this thing shreds.
That's pretty. I can see that. That'd be really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel the more I've been thinking about you talk about the DTS play, the more I think you're on. That is probably the better one, because the bigger risk for me here in looking at this is Asym can get sniped on 50k. Potentially if Helios kills DTS first. Although
like both ways you get capital progress, right? It's just in different ways.
Yeah.
Especially like getting deeper into Altus, right? Like you're set up for more. Helios like can easily go, like is gonna be faster to Lightning Ram after this. Gonna be faster to Bell Bearing Hunters after this. Asym obviously gets the advantage on Caelid bosses. But in addition, right, like Helios gets a square as well as Memory of Grace. Like he gets Draconic. Asym gets Memory of Grace. And unfortunately, there's not really anything underground that would require like Radon's Hole, right? Like there is Dragonkin Soldier, but it's fairly equidistant to go from Third Church. So like, do you really need
enough to like justify it?
I don't know. If it's 3 though, it's really not that bad, especially because there's also the one in Altus, right?
Yeah, the Lion Guardian's not free by any stretch is the only thing, but I can see that.
The logic behind Radon, like it makes sense, right? It makes sense. I just think it's a good play. It's not the best play. Like the logic is you get Memory of Grace 50k, you get 1 of 3 remembrances, you get a Shard Bearer to get Chord's Capital, and you get a Caelid boss. Like it's very strong. I just personally think Radon is stronger. Oh, and also you set up a potential Misbegotten boss and Crucible Knight Misbegotten Warrior duo. Like, don't get me wrong, very strong play.
I also don't know if it's the best one.
Yeah. And if you're in Asym's spot, like here, you have to be greeting for the best one. Asym will get in the fight first, but we're going to go ahead and just keep this thing dual screen, as we're going to have 2 big fights. It'll be Helios with Draconic on your left and Asym with Radon on your right. I don't think a single Golden Order. I don't think we've had someone get hit to Radon yet. So let's see if Asym is the first.
Well, you gotta put that evil on him.
Well, it's my job.
I guess so.
Actually, see, like Mickle and Nightsword damage is not bad.
Fine.
I mean, it's yellow damage on the R1, like on the R1s.
Yeah, it's
Like,
yellow damage.
look, it's not. Yeah, it's not great, but like, think about how much extra time you're wasting doing all these checks. Like, Mikkel and Nightsword was in round table. You got to wonder, like, maybe they should have just picked Mikkel and Nightsword and ran with it, because, like, I mean, that's what. I'll try to get the actual damage number for you. 473 on a charge dart too. Like, that's not bad at all. It's pretty damn good, actually.
This is gonna be hard. I think Asym loses 50k here.
I do too.
That's like, I think
This is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the third. Ugh.
The third.
Helios gets hit. Okay, Radahn's dead. Either. Okay, wait. Helios kind of. The fight got a lot dirtier.
Yeah, but Asym has to go for this quick. If he goes for it at all, he can't like. The thing is, Helios grabs the Grace obviously first, so they.
Why did Asym warp?
So Asym, there's no way Asym doesn't think 50k is coming.
Oh, he was going to try to buy incants. Oh my god, he barely got it. He was gonna level. He just said he said fuck it. He just Memory of Grace with 70k to avoid the snipe.
Good. You know what though? Heads up play for Asym.
Yeah, like honestly, heady play.
No way, dude.
Heads
Helios
up
is
play for
pissed.
Asym
Literal seconds.
to not like
Yeah.
read that honestly.
If he tried to level, he would have not gotten it. Like,
No,
he
I
had
know,
to just. He
so
had
close.
to.
34.
Ooh. Damn. Damn.
Yeah, that was a really good, like, really heads up decision in the spur of the moment for Asym.
Yeah. And now you just do fire prelate, maybe.
I think he's going
in.
I think he's going incants.
With what? Oh, he has the
Remembrance,
still.
yeah.
Yeah. Does he have 12 though? Cornely sells.
10.
Like, where's he gonna get his 12?
10 plus. I'm not sure.
Oh. I don't know if Asym is either. He ran right by him, so.
Yeah. Okay, Helios is working on tunnels, actually going for Falling Star Beast to just get a tunnel and get a weapon and get the Somber Stones, as well as a Caleb boss. Tunnel, Caleb boss, Somber Stones makes perfect sense.
Yeah, totally.
I think Asym here is going Lightning Ram.
Oh, maybe. I could see that.
Sets up a Grace for it. Now back to Stormhill Shack.
What you cooking, Asym?
Oh, not sure. We'll go full screen with Helios here for the Rock Dog.
Rock doggy.
God, that Memory of Grace 58 was just such a damn heads up play by Asym. Like, I cannot express how heads up that
I do not
was.
normally get that.
Yeah, that
version.
was.
See, I'm telling you, this Mikkel and Nightsword. Okay, it is a +4. Like, that's good damage.
It's bingoable damage.
It's
Very good fight.
I think it's fine. It's
never
totally fine damage. Like, it's not.
I'm not saying it's not fine damage.
I don't know. I'm
saying-
starting to think if you find Mikkel and Nightsword and you've already done a few checks, you just run with it.
I would have preferred Grave Scythe this game. Like, I
Or
would've done what
Grave
Asym
Scythe
did.
works.
Grabbing the boluses.
So he's going Clean Rot Duo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just good because of Sacred Blade.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a serviceable weapon because it's no sacred. It has Sacred Blade on it. I agree.
Yeah.
I will also call it serviceable.
I was gonna say a crude joke, but I feel like you're too tired for that.
No, you can go ahead. I'm awake.
Oh no, no,
I'm good.
no! It's too late. It's too late. It's past. It's dead.
Well, you missed your shot. Who's
I know.
typical? Whose behavior?
Nah, Asym's not going for a snipe. Asym's going. They're doing. Helios just did a tunnel. This is a cave, even though it kind of looks like a tunnel. This is a cave, but this will get this will get Asym the clean rot duo square, in the bottom row. Helios just did a tunnel in a Caelid boss, and mainly though now he's just trying to upgrade his weapon. You do get some extra somber stones, which can be used to make your weapon stronger, and that's what Helios was going for mainly with the Falling Star Beast. Just a little bit of square progression and weapon upgrade. Also, Helios did get Watchdog Staff from Draconic, and I think he's going to pivot to it.
That makes a lot of sense. I think it's a better, honestly, it's a better weapon.
It's a pretty solid weapon. It's a weapon that Yojo used to use throughout Bingo Brawler Season 1. He swore by it. I mean, it's not better in that format. It's a good weapon.
Yeah, I mean, that format.
I don't know if it's better than Bloodhound Fang or Golden Halberd, but like, it's a good weapon.
Yeah, I mean, in that format you could cheese, right? So like, really, how much better was it? And
well, Season 1 was non-weapon rando.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, everyone's entitled to their opinions and their ideas.
Good weapon though. I like the weapon.
Yeah.
Like
the kick. We love the kick. That's some.
Wait, the kick tech is hot. That's hot.
Yeah, I mean, Helios. We all watched Helios do that, and he was like, "Frig, I was waiting to save this for games, and now it's Asym stealing the tech." The Cold War of Bingo is in the tech stealing. Also, Asym is getting. He needs to play more rando. He's getting bodied by Crucible Knights. Unacceptable behavior. I mean.
Yeah, he pulled out the tech and forgot how to do the fight.
Honestly, I like the tech on a solo Crucible Knight. I don't care for it as much in the duo because you can just bully this one and he falls over.
I mean, actually, I'm kind of surprised this square wasn't gone for sooner. It's a night boss. It's a square and it's a Caelid boss. Like, this is a pretty valuable.
And it gives you
play.
The most important part is the Scarab Talisman.
Yeah, which you could use for more runes. Granted, like the runes, memory raise 50k is gone. I suppose 30 incants, right? Or 12 incants is still there.
No, that's like half a meme. Good kill from Asym though.
Oh yeah, Asym does get a little snipe here. Helios was going for this. And I mean, look, it's 6-5 now.
I mean, I think if you're Asym, what do? Do you do Bell-Bearing Hunters now, right? Do you finish Caelid bosses?
I mean, I would go Dragon Barrel Bell-Bearing Hunter.
I think he's going to do Crucible Knight for the incant.
Crucible Knight for the incant and the night boss. Is there another night boss that would give you an incant?
The other Crucible Knight in Stormvale, but that's a little.
That's not a boss. That's not a boss.
I'm dumb. Does the Clean Rot Knight in Liurnia give you an incant when it gives you the Sky?
Helios, there's no look. It's on the board. There's no way Helios can not know. Okay, he just saw it.
Oh, I thought he was maybe going to do this for night bosses still, but maybe not. Okay.
Saw it very late.
I mean, if you're Asym, do you not just?
I mean, Helios is really actually allowed. Like, Asym is slowly, really clawing his way back in this game. Like,
yeah. I'm just thinking, if you're Asym, do you not just grab a prayer book at this point? Like, grab either prayer book, the one from Liurnia North.
Get greeting like hell for synergy.
I do this part. I grab this one, but the second I'm trying to wrap my little brain around the next one. And I don't know if there's a clean second. Does the Crucible Knight Misbegotten duo drop an incant?
No, Colossal.
Only a Colossal on 2 drops?
Yeah.
Well, that's just shit then, isn't it? Huh. I'm really trying to think here.
I'm too.
Yeah, I think you just grab a book if you want the 12 incant square. I mean, you don't need to rush that square, but it is a nice block for you. It's 2 night bosses for Asym.
You just get Golden Vow? I think you got Golden Vow.
Funny. Great. Is he also going to kill? Where is he going, little buddy? Oh, he's going to do Bloodhound Knight?
No, he's running past it. No, he's going for it. He's going for it. Yeah, Bloodhound Knight. So that's his third night
Supposed to be his
boss.
third one. Yep. And then he does Crucible Knight Misbegotten Duo.
Hot. That's hot. Ellie,
Right?
good
That's
idea.
your
That's hot.
fourth?
That's hot. That's pretty hot. I like that.
And he's ahead of Helios for it because he has Radon killed, so he's gonna be able to enter the fight right after this.
Yeah.
That gives him runes for incants. Okay, Asym is it's really hard. I talked about mental pressure earlier, and Asym is really finding ways to like climb back into a game after some really bad snipes, which is what you need to do.
I mean, sometimes you gotta just say like fuck it and just like play your game and not think, right?
Well, we all know Asym's not a thinker, so this is good. I'm so sorry, Asym, when you watch the VOD on that. You're a thinker, little buddy.
You're a thinker, little buddy. Okay.
Please do. No, what are you doing? Where are you going? No, you're so smart, so cute. Why? Where are you going to Temple Quarter for?
Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the 5-time champion. I started this bit too early, so I have to stall for a second.
What a fucking catastrophe.
In the blue corner, we have Asym. And in the red corner, we have the 5-time champion, Bowls, Carrion Knight.
I love the bit normally, but now I'm just sad.
It's okay.
I think this is a little bit of a synergistic misplay. But that's fine. He gets the square. He gets the sorcery, which is useless for him. It's okay. You could kill a Dawn. He has the Grace. That could be a quick incant. Arguably, maybe faster than going to grab the prayer books. Better eco.
Fire Prelate doesn't drop an incant, right? It's just a Colossal?
Yeah, correct.
Wow, okay.
God, I hope he realizes the error of his ways and he goes kills the Misbegotten. If he kills the Misbegotten Duo right now, I think I'm going to have a small aneurysm, I think. That'd be it for me.
This is the end. This is tied. Like, when the fuck did that happen?
I know. No, I know. I mean, that 50k snipe was, and the Clean Rot Knight, I mean, hard to call Clean Rot Knight like a clean quote-unquote snipe. And he actually became much better when Helios decided to, you know, kind of forget and not check the board and walk into the tunnel. But even without that, it's still time lost for doing that run up from the Grace. Like, it's still waste.
How many Dragon Barrel bosses does Helios have?
He's killed the Falling Star Beast and
Black Dog.
That's and then this will be 2. This will be Asym.
O'Neal.
O'Neal. Well, they both killed O'Neal. Yeah, that's 3. So this is 3. Asym has killed O'Neal, Clean Rot Knight,
Radon.
So this will be his 4th. So Asym's also ahead on Caled bosses. He can do the square really quickly. You know what's a cool idea? Maybe a bad one, but a cool one. You could kill X-Sykes for a Dragon Heart and get an incant that way. Dumb
idea. Do that when you could do the Magma Worm and get a tunnel and an incant that way.
Oh, I guess you could do that.
Did you consider?
I didn't, because it's farther away from where they are, and you gotta hustle a little bit. Gotta move your ass. Playtime's over. That's fine.
No, there's no incant, but there's a Dragon Heart.
Yeah.
Also, Asym already has a Dragon Heart with Agil.
Oh, brother. I'm gonna say it. He's gonna lose the Misbegotten Square for free. But maybe now that it's a tied game, he's okay with that, right? Maybe he doesn't care about that as much, and I could. See
you can't win them all. And
I mean, he could have won this one.
Okay.
Right? There's no reason.
True.
He loses this. This is a synergistic mistake.
Yeah, I'm like Helios' pace is just falling off a cliff.
Yeah, it's because he was using the great Mikula sword and had to pivot weapons.
I think the Mikulin sword might have been better.
The Rot Staff?
This isn't Rot Staff, it's Watchdog Staff.
Oh, right.
Watchdog Staff is probably a little bit better. Sirius says the sword's better and it's insane, and he knows more about like rando weapons. So honestly, I kind of trust
I
him.
thought
I
it
mean,
was
he has at
I
least
thought it was
3 by
Roger and
now.
Sap. I'm a goober. I do agree that this is better. Oh, and Caleb bosses with the duo too. Asym. I'm gonna go. He's doing it. I quit. I quit bingo forever. The fact that he's going to Misbegotten duo now. The fact that he's going to this now instead of this for a night boss, for his 5th Caleb boss, is crazy behavior. Why?
Is there any like incredibly fast Caleb boss that Helios could use to somehow snipe this?
Nox duo, Pumpkinhead duo,
Or
yeah.
maybe Battle Mage?
Battle Mage Hughes,
How close
Yep.
is he to the Avatar?
Fort Faroth, right? They both have Fort Faroth, so like, that's a
I meant
longer-
I meant other Avatar.
the other Avatar. Oh, Dragon. Oh,
The Caleb Avatar.
he would have either First Church or Fort Heights.
Yeah, I don't
so-
think it's fast enough unless Asym incidents here.
No, and if facing incidents here, then I'm actually quitting bingo.
Okay.
You're here first. Oh, the
I mean, his damage against the Crucible is gonna be shit because there's no status. Oh right, yeah, they do frost. They frost. Might be.
Oh,
No,
shit,
God,
I
Helios.
didn't realize he was doing that version. That was
I love
so
my
weird.
both my children equally. I'm just sad that
You
Asym-
really don't.
I mean, I think I like the underdog winning more, and I think Asym's the underdog. So, like, you know, my preferred story arc is that Asym wins on that principle. But I also
It'd be a
am
huge
fine-
win.
It would be. Oh, he didn't
Okay,
do the
Helios is greeting for Magmorm.
I mean, it's a smart. It's a good. It's greed. It depends how you view greed, right? If both players are going for Caleb bosses, surely both players went FSB. For one of them, because it's too synergistic not to go for it, right? And so by that logic, I think if you do lose the Caleb boss for this, you get a tunnel in Magmorm. So I don't. It feels greedy to us, but it's actually, I think, a really sensible decision because you still gain a square in progress. even though
Yeah.
you lose a square, but you trade a square, right? It's a trade, little 50-50.
Jumping that
Also-
sword is so good.
I'm a Gravescythe.
I
Watching this game
told
has
you. I
convinced me
told
I'm
you it
a-
was good.
I mean, my principle for smithing routing is if it's double statusable.
Yeah, like I told you, it's pretty damn good.
I can status it. Hot fight for Asym.
Very hot.
I will chew him out for his mistake
Oh,
about
the snipe fast dude.
how he navigated the synergies here, but it's fine.
Finish the magma worm. Finish.
He's gonna go
Tunnels.
Misbegotten bosses.
Finish.
He just did my play, but
Fuck.
optimally. It's fine. We're moving past it. I'm good now.
Okay.
I've seen the
Finish
light.
Dragonkin.
Helios is realizing he's in trouble.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, what was his score, right? It was 6-2, 6-3.
I really should not have
He was
greeted that.
fairly ahead.
Bro, fucking
Asym is
hitbox.
on a 4-0 run right now, so it was 6-3.
Yeah, I'm in the lobby too. Silly. Nah, silly me. Yeah, I mean, that's this is a tunnel too for Asym. So
Yeah.
Asym could actually beat Helios on this tunnel square. If he does something like Stone Digger Troll in Limgrave, because he has a Geel Lake North, it could be a race for the third tunnel. The Helios is ahead though, because this is going to go down, and I'm sure Helios will just, now that the Caled square's been marked, right? He'll just go do that himself. But
He said tunnels.
ooh, sorry, I have it muted because I don't like hearing my
Yeah,
own voice.
okay,
so
yeah,
on
he's
top
gonna
of it.
get tunnels, but Asym will get Misbegotten.
So that's again another like perfectly fine. Right, we're just trading in reverse, which still
Yeah.
puts Asym ahead. This is like still good for Asym.
Helios is still up on map with DTS down because the way this is going, gold free Morgot is gonna matter.
Yeah.
And like that's a pretty big deal. Like having DTS down and having that is actually gonna be very important.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I don't know. Look, I gotta say, regardless of what the hell happens, like Asym really easily could have gotten just completely rolled this game.
No, he didn't. Which is
Yeah, like
awesome.
this easily could have been like a tilt after the snipes, like I don't know, like 8-4 bingo or something like that.
Oh, this tunnel snipe's
Please
gonna feel
stop.
bad.
If he gets tunneled, I'm gonna cry.
Unless he's not gonna have it. No, he is gonna have it happen to him.
I mean, how many snipes has
Wait,
there been
I'm
in
going
this
the wrong
game?
way.
Like, let's just go through.
Oh wait, never mind.
No, I know.
Millicent's Needle.
Okay.
I mean, to some extent,
Tunnels,
Misbegotten.
volunteers.
Drake's. Night bosses.
Fuck me.
50k.
That's really bad.
Kaled bosses. Clean rot. Like, that's 7 squares that could
Unless
be
he, for
considered
some
a
reason, doesn't
snipe.
have
That's
all this.
50% of the squares.
Yeah.
And tunnels is gonna make that 8 out of 15. That's fucking crazy. Asym's stock. Oh wait, does he have money?
Lots of money, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 41k.
Yeah. Now he loses larval tears.
Yeah, so Helios is going underground for larval tears and dragonkin. It also sets up moose, but does moose matter? Maybe, like, it could matter. It depends on the end game positioning. If Helios is up into the end game, moose matters. If Helios is down, moose doesn't matter. Because it like, if Helios is winning, he can just use moose as his third remembrance, and that could be game. If he's losing, he'd probably have to greed for Morgott third remembrance. So it depends on the end game positioning a lot here, whether or not moose matters.
Yeah, and Asym's gonna buy the...
Asym's just, Asym's doing
Buy the
incants
book.
right now. He's just buying using the stone sword keys to get the black knife prayer book. It's in round table. The only thing is, like, you have to use 3 stone sword keys to get it, so that's how it's pretty well balanced. I don't think there's nowhere else he would need a stone sword key though on this board, so that's not going to bite him at all.
Godfrey icons.
True.
Oh, he's picked up the one, I think, for free potentially in Celia. The one by, like, he can
Yeah,
buy
you'd only
another
have to
one, like,
pick
he
up
has
2
more.
free ones. Like, you'd only have to pick up 2 free ones, right?
Yeah, I mean, he'll be fine.
And Stormhill Shack is the freest of free.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Asym has so much money. Honestly, he probably could have memory of erased out because he also has remembrance of the Star Scourge skill still. He's sitting on, like,
Yeah.
with all the runes in his pocket, he was sitting on damn near like 100k.
I think
you
if you're
probably could've
Asym, you
just
go
burned the
get,
40.
you do this, and then you go to, like, you have to kill. I mean, yeah, you want capital access eventually, right? It's a matter of when you get
I
it.
mean, you need one more square. No, you go. Okay, I got it. Yeah, here's the line for Asym. This is the line. You go Renala right now. Renala, icons, 3 remembrances, gold free Morgott. That's the line.
Okay. Yeah.
That's your final 4. Helios has to note, if Helios goes for Dragonkin after this, he's in trouble. He has to pivot off. I think Asym wins if Helios doesn't pivot off after those.
After he was like, he greets Dragonkin, you mean?
I think Helios has to do Mimic and pivot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because whoever wins capital, like, gold free, like Morgott, especially if the remembrance is on the board, like gold free Morgott's a fucking triple square.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Most larval tears marked for us. What is he? Does he just? He's gonna push through. He's either gonna
I
grab
mean, it's
Dragonkin
close.
or
It's gonna be
or Moose.
close, right? Because like Asym still has to go through like. It'll be close, right? Because Asym still has to go through Deconic, right? But like for my point was, for Helios, it's way more dicey now. Like the timing's
Yeah.
way dicier. The one way he could save it is if he doesn't greed and just goes Godric. But you're sacking icons if you do that.
Do you think we're gonna see the third remembrance for both players be Morgott?
I think the thing is, I think they're both gonna try to greed it. Like I just don't see any way you don't.
Yeah.
Because like with Goldfree right in front of it, right? Like with Goldfree and Morgott, it's impossible to not go for the greed, right? Because okay, if let's say Helios does Godric and then Ancestor, right? Like that's 3 fights, cool, whatever. Like, but you're trading down at that point.
Right.
And
Yeah.
is like Godric Ancestor that much faster to warrant not going capital? Like maybe, but probably not.
Right. And there's like nothing in Stormvale, right? Like it's like it literally is like a
No,
dead.
it's dead.
It's dead if you unless you were gonna go kill Godric for the
It's dead as a
remembrance.
doorknob. I mean, the only way, like, so if Helios does Dragonkin, like, unless Helios just tries to clean up everything else and then 3 remembrances in terms of like Dragonkin, Lightning Ram, Fire Prelate, 3 remembrances.
Right.
Like that's what he would have to do.
Yeah, we do know that Asym has a good square for prelate as well. Right, he has the Gillica square, so it's a little bit of a head start, but
All right, there's Dragonkin.
yeah.
That's very good for Asym, actually. Okay, Helios is going Godric. This is just a straight up capital race. How deep is Asym into Altus?
Past tree sun. No, he has the grace before the teleporter. So not super deep. I don't think he has the grace near the bell bearing.
How much is Renala? Is that? Well, okay, here's the other question. Is he going to go for icons first or does he go straight capital?
I think there's enough squares that if you lose, I mean, I think if you're
If you lose capital, Asym can't lose capital because Asym will lose 3 squares. Like Helios has counterplay on the remembrances with because of Moose. Asym has nothing. Asym cannot lose Morgott. He has to win Morgott. Just has to.
Morgott. Yeah. I'm just thinking.
I don't think there's any way around it, right? Because like otherwise Helios has to win. Asym would have to win icons, bell-bearing hunters, lightning ram, fire prelate. Like
Right.
the odds of that are slim.
I'm just taking the most forceful way into Landell right
That's
now
true.
that I can.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Helios just said I'm taking the most forceful way into Landell. Like he's just sending it.
Yeah. I think it would have to be really heads up. I think one of the only ways you salvage here, if you're Asym, the remembrance square, is I think you set up Goldfree. Or you set up Godric, sorry. And once you see Goldfree marked, you do a Godfree versus a Godric race. Because if you lose Morgott and Goldfree, but you get the 3 remembrance square, in that time you could salvage the rest, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. Because he has to know. He knows doesn't like. He knows that DTS is down for Helios, right? So like, it's not a mystery that DTS is down. Also, who seems to be gone to the Nether, which is fine because we're gonna have Asym.
I'm here. Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean,
You calm down. You calm the fuck down.
It's impossible. But yeah, I was just saying. I don't know if you how long.
Thing
you
is, Godric's gonna die so fast.
Yeah.
Like, look at this.
But he can get through. He can get through Margaret Godric, I think, faster potentially than
So it
Gold
wasn't gonna be a
Free.
1 cycle anyways. I might as well speed it up.
Yeah, but even so, then all of a sudden, like, you're trading.
Well, then you're down 10, 11, and then you have icons over your opponent potentially.
I guess. Yeah.
And right, like I think if Asym capital races,
Yeah, but Asym's down on
Altus.
Altus progress for Lightning Ram and Bellbearing Hunters. That Altus progress matters for Bellbearing Hunters too.
Well, he's not super down on the Lightning Ram, but he's not as close. It's yeah. I just don't think he can contest capital. I think he has to know he's super behind on capital, and Helios hasn't marked anything since the Dragonkin. Like, what do you think Helios is doing now, right? Like, this Prelate doesn't take long. Bellbearing Hunters doesn't take long. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying he's in an easy position. I just don't think he can forcibly contest capital.
Helios isn't going capital. He's going Bellbearing Hunters. You might be able to
Or at
greed this
least I get
shit
up to
though.
Red Wolf.
You might be far enough to head.
I mean,
Keep in mind, Helios is already outside of, like, he is the Grace
No,
at capital with
I'm
Draconic
thinking.
Dead.
I'm thinking. I think it's gonna be close.
It'll be close.
Yeah.
I mean, weapon diff is gonna be big on Goldfree actually. In Helios's favor. It's a +6 somber with no status versus a +9 smithing dual status stick.
Yeah. This is gonna, the Bellbearing Hunters isn't gonna take long at all.
No.
Especially because the Bernal one just melts.
I hate that he rolls into that shit.
Yeah, I don't like it either. It's pretty nerve-wracking to watch. Asym can't get he has to, if he's pushing capital, he has to push capital. I mean, clearly he sees the urgency, right? Because he didn't go icons, right? He's not going prelate, like he's not going the other things. So clearly Helios respects the urgency he's under. Sorry, Asym respects the urgency he's under.
I need to get 3 moments off this energy.
Is Helios splitting progression? Am I Turtle Pope?
He's going for 3 remembrances and icons.
Okay, so
I don't know if that's good or bad.
well, here's
It's
the
not
thing.
great.
When he has 2, right? So if you're Asym, if you see 3 remembrances unlocked and Morgoth's undone, obviously you know where your opponent is. Right, you know your opponent's on in capital.
But you know he could go to capital at any time.
I think Asym still needs to kill DTS.
I think he still has to kill Goldfree.
He's not that behind though. Now in map progress,
But no,
they're
but
the
you
same,
have to
right?
sit. But, oh, holy shit! He's also going Bellbearing Hunters.
I mean, he may win Bellbearing Hunters.
The reason why I say you have to go Goldfree is because by winning Goldfree you win Morgott without doing Morgott.
I think normally maybe, but this game is too close for that to. Like if it's a snipe, I guess. Yeah, it's pretty free. It's pretty free. He's not doing Bell-bearing Hunters. He's just setting up the Grace, and he's gonna go DTS. Wise, Asym, very wise. I mean, if you're Asym, do you kill DTS and then finish icons and then go? No, nobody. No, you don't. He fucking pivoted away. I was gonna. The thing is, it's so like, you know, to us we know, but what I'm more surprised is Helios' pivot. Yeah. Oh my god, Asym. I mean, if you're Asym and you see icons dead, it's kind of like if you lose icons. Who, Godric?
Oh wait, I
Very
just
good.
realized I was muted. I'm a fucking idiot. Helios hasn't done what's his face. Not Godric. Godefroy, right?
No, no, of course not. The square's not marked, silly. Silly Billy. I think if you're Asym and you see the 3 remembrances mark that's going to come out from Helios here, and not Morgott, you feel good.
I don't understand how this game got away from Helios. Like I can't believe this game is so close.
Just some.
Holy shit, Helios is getting moongrumped.
I mean, Asym almost dies to DTS too.
Okay.
He got hit by the largest fucking.
Helios survived a moongrum.
Holy
Barely.
shit.
Okay. DTS
Nice.
goes down.
Nice greed.
Oops.
Not using the fists, I die. Yeah, if you're Asym, I think you're gonna head into capital, and you're gonna feel really good about being in capital when your opponent marks 3 remembrances without Morgott. Like, I think you're gonna feel really good about that.
Huge.
Little Rani, my dear daughter.
I'm so curious what Asym thinks. Pivot. Why is Helios grabbing the Grace?
I have no idea. Does he have the Stonesword keys for this? He must have bought extra, or he has extra, hopefully. He only needs 1.
Okay, so Helios makes no sense right now. So Helios did Renala for the icon, but then okay, then goes.
Wait, for the remembrance, right? I think so. Helios is in a position.
Yeah, but he
right
also
now.
got the icon. Asym pivots out because he doesn't have a key.
Oh, this is a messy game.
Does Asym, did he buy all 3 keys or did he only buy 1?
He bought 2 before.
Okay, he still has a key available.
Yeah.
So Helios goes Bellbearing Hunter.
Heals get burned all true. Just have a big bonk +6. That's my secret.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is without a doubt one of
always
the
good, chat.
wildest games
League
I've
is
ever
always
called.
good.
Like, I still can't make sense of who's winning.
I think Asym's in trouble now. I think
Thing is, Asym has prio on the 2 capital squares, right?
barely, right? He has a grace. The fact Helios going for icons is going to be the problem. I think Helios is probably thinking Asym hasn't marked something in a while.
Why did Asym warp?
He must be thinking because Helios should be in capital at 11 squares. He killed DTS, right? So now he thinks there's 2 squares left in capital for the loss, and maybe if Helios is big braining this,
Holy shit! No, he fucked it up.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think Helios thinks, okay, like, because Helios doesn't need capital to win anymore. There's still prelate. There's still lightning ram.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Asym can't go capital right now.
I think he
Because
can
Helios also told you by doing 3 remembrances without Morcott, he tells you like
Yep.
you win capital. Like that's what he said.
Yep. I think Asym pivoting here is a mistake.
Yeah, because if Asym, because the reason why I thought Helios was in trouble, right? Because if you assume the 2 capital scores were to go to Asym, right?
Yeah.
It's 3 squares being contested. And Asym would have had the first mover advantage because he would have had prio on icons. So then it would have come down to the 50-50 with lightning ram and prelate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's gonna be a problem. I think this game for Asym for sure. When he loses the square. Because then Helios could still go cap. Like, he's at such a bad spot, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he has to somehow manage to get both.
Regardless, though, hell of a fucking game. But like, I don't care what happens. I don't care if Asym skill issues the gold for the rest of this game. What a fucking game by him. Even though he lost, like, what a game.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't lose yet, but even if he loses, right?
I mean, he get West Ram? I don't think he got the Rampart Grace, right?
I feel like
Just now? So he can't pivot out of this. Like, he's committed to gold free at least.
When you're close by now.
And then
The double wind.
what does Helios do? They are equal for graces for lightning ram. Asym has a slight advantage on prelate, but that's a scary thing to just gamble on.
Yeah, I don't know. You're asking me to make sense of a game that I haven't had a clue what. I've been so lost on the idea ever since Helios pivoted. I've completely missed the plot ever since Helios pivoted out of capital. I'll be real.
Asym probably knows he lost at the mark here. Yeah.
A hell of a fucking game by him, though.
Yeah, it was. It's just so
Like this, whatever the final score is, it doesn't do it justice for how close. Unless it's 11, unless it's 13-12, it doesn't do it justice.
no, this game was so
Yeah.
close.
Helios is gonna get prelate though.
Yeah, that's gonna be how the game comes to a close, unfortunately, for Asym. I really can't wait to talk to them in the post game and ask Helios in particular if this was some sort of big brain giga.
Well, no, I mean
play.
Helios fucking threw. Like Helios, if Helios goes hard capital, if Helios just goes Bellbearing Bunter's capital, like game's 100% over, and Asym can't do anything about it. Right? Like that just game. if Asym goes Bellbring Hunter's Capital, there's nothing Asym could do. Asym could maybe snipe Remembrances, but it wouldn't have mattered, right?
Yeah.
Helios really got too cute there by because I think what happened was he was really worried about Asym going to Capital, but I don't think he really thought about how much of a lead he had due to DTS.
Right.
Helios will know that's a win.
He got gold free. Okay. Well, lightning round.
Lightning Ram. Asym guessed wrong.
That's the thing, right? Like, the benefit of being able to
Yeah.
go Lightning Ram is you can just take this chance if he has a deep grace for prelate.
Yeah.
He can afford to take this risk, right?
Yeah, I mean
Like,
Helios is really good at like double prepping this shit. Like that's what he does. Like, I remember during the bingo, the game that Domo called, Domo was fucking pissed off at Helios for how much he was like double and triple prepping. He was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
I mean, it's like,
Yeah, it's busted. Honestly, it's cheese.
really
We should ban
smart.
it.
Oh, I hate you
Yeah.
so much.
Double prepping's a cheese.
I hate you.
Yeah.
I hate you so much. What a game.
Asym! What the fuck was that?
I don't know if he knows.
I don't know. I think he knows it's Jover. You saw the smile on his face when it happened.
Yeah.
He just kind of laughed, right? Man, like actually, I cannot say like how good of a game this was from Asym. Like this so easily could have just snowballed
Yeah.
out of control for him. Man, it's just such a... I haven't seen, particularly Helios, because he tends to try to avoid snipes. I haven't seen Helios play a game like this in a long time, where it just
No.
like snipe. Like it just like snipes back and forth.
No, it feels kind of unusual.
It was such a weird feeling game with all the snipes, but like very interesting.
Yeah, and very
Yeah.
very close. Even if it had no business, it felt like sometimes being as close
Yeah.
as it was. Well, that's crazy.
I mean, I honestly feel like though, like outside of the early game, man, I wonder if Asym goes DTS instead of Radon, do you think he wins?
I think it's a closer game. I think he still could win without doing that if he went for.
Oh my
I
god,
actually
this is Helios literally got Lightning Ram, put it on the fucking thing, and then pivoted off. Helios died of the baboosh.
Honestly, I know it's crazy to imagine for a second, 'cause this whole game is crazy. But if Asym doesn't die on the way to prelate and does what he's doing now, it's still a game in a way. 'Cause he has status effect. He could.
Oh my god, Helios. Oh my.
Never mind.
Okay.
Helios is unhinged more than a way. I
He's
ever
very
imagined.
unhinged, yeah. Watch him kill 9 sheep and pivot.
That should count as a square not being done.
Yeah. What, 9
No.
sheep?
Yeah.
So I know this is gonna be really bad.
This was stressful for so many reasons. I can't wait for you to lead the post-game
One.
interview. I'm sure you got some questions. Here.
2. This is the most anticlimactic way to win a game. Somehow
I mean-
it's very fitting though.
5.
Yeah, I mean, killing the sheep is kind of cute.
6.
7.
7.
8.
8.
9.
9.
And that'll be 10? Nice.
10.
10.
Just do one more for extra,
There he goes.
just to make sure.
Wait, he's done the square.
He's killing an extra one.
He was 10 before. There you go.
He said he wanted to do 11 to make sure, and it was within 30 seconds. So that's
Imagine
game.
that. Could you
GGs.
imagine if something happens in the 30
Yeah,
seconds?
and it somehow wasn't 30 seconds. Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. That was GG's.
Oh, man. What a game.
Thanks for the GG.
Let me get your picture up here, Elliot. Okay.
No bad.
Damn. I'm gonna give him a second before we bring him in.
Yeah.
What a game. Like, I don't even know what else to say. Like,
Yeah, just a really tight back and forth.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say, guys, if you want to get into bingo or keep up with like the most up-to-date information with the league, you can join the Zero Scratch Discord. This is the first match day of a lot. I think it's going to end up being like 24 or something, not counting playoffs. We'll be back, bingo commentary, 3 matches tomorrow and 3 matches on Sunday. So look forward to seeing you then, and let's bring the players in. Welcome in, guys. GG's.
GG's, Helios.
GG.
What a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy game, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy fucking game.
So Helios, I'm curious for you, right? You kill the first Bellbearing Hunter in Altus, and then you decide to pivot to Academy. I know that you were worried about like losing capital. But like at that spot, due to the DTS progress that you had, if you would have just killed the other Bellbearing Hunter and then rushed capital, it was just free. Did you forget about the DTS progress, or like can you kind of walk me through that decision a little bit?
Okay. I killed what is it called? Dragonkin Soldier.
Yeah.
A few seconds after he did something. Yeah, he did incants, and then 4 minutes or 3 minutes later, I killed Dragonkin Soldier. At that point, it was pretty feasible that after incants, he had just killed Godric and rushed capital. And I don't know what his memory of grace was from, but I was assuming that was DTS.
Okay. That's where it was. That makes more sense.
That's what I wanted.
Dude, Asym, it was Radon, Helios. That was the most heads up shit by Asym, because Asym was gonna go buy some incants with the extra 20k, right, from Radon, because you get 70k. He saw you mark the square and then was like, oh fuck, in just memory of grace with 70k. Had he leveled or bought any incants, he would have lost the square.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That was pretty heads up, though. I thought it might have been something like that, but I wasn't sure. Because he marked Ruins bosses, which means he's an Altus, I assumed. And that's just when I got to Altus. So it was quite plausible that we just ran to DTS and killed him at the same time. And I got the square like a second early.
I realized that I should have gone DTS when I was on the Radon elevator.
Yeah.
Like going down.
Okay.
Yeah, I think DTS was very obviously the play. Like Radon was very good, but it wasn't the best.
I feel like Radon pulled me back into the game in a lot of ways, though.
Yeah. Well, you could have synergized even more by doing the night bosses.
Synergy.
Ellie,
I was losing my. I basically abandoned you in my brain when you fucking killed Bulls as your night boss instead of going Crucible Night Duo, and then you went to Duo after for Misbegotten, and I'm like, this is the most bozo shit I've seen. That's crazy. But then you played a really good game anyway, and it didn't matter. But I was like losing my mind watching you do that.
Yeah,
that hurt.
I was thinking about you. I was thinking about you while I was misplaying. I hope that makes up for it.
It doesn't. I'm still disappointed in you, but we can talk about that later.
Dude, Helios, you kind of took my plan at the end. Like, I was killing DTS, and I killed DTS. I was hesitating because I was like, I should probably take a couple squares off the board before I go to capital. I needed one like to do 3 remembrances with Morgott and Goldfree, and that would have gotten me the game, I think. And I was so split between doing like going to icons. I set up a grace for the Bellbearing Hunter, and I was so like split between things to do when we were 9-9. And then you marked 3 remembrances, and I was like, okay, well, he took something out of Capital for me. I don't know that Capital is the right play here, and then I didn't know what to go for. And then you marked Bellbearing Hunters, and I was like, okay, I just go icons, right? And then I was like, no, idiot, he's just gonna go to Capital and win the game. And then you marked icons and took that off me, and I was like, shit, he's just gonna get to double prep and get to 12 or 13 then.
I'll be honest, the way Helios played that end game, from my perspective of the omnipresent, I was like, I don't know who's winning. Like, this makes no sense. I'm confused. Helios stopped prepping shit. I'm lost. Like, I get why he did, because he was worried about DTS. That makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
Because like from our perspective, I was just like, oh, just send Capital, right? Like, you just win.
Yeah,
but
from my
I get it
perspective,
from
it wasn't clear at all.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
We got to talk about the early game real quick, because you sniped me on Drake Talismans, and then you sniped me on Millicent's Needle, but you sniped me on Millicent's Needle because I'm a fucking idiot, and I didn't talk to Gowry again and get the needle. I just warped back to the Grace, so I jumped down again, grabbed it, and then you marked it, and I was like, well, okay, this game's over.
Yeah, honestly, Asym, like, I'm very impressed, because I feel like from that point, like, the game really could have snowballed, and it could have been like an 8-2 bingo or something, where like you just got tilted. But like, hell of a job. Like, obviously, you know, unfortunate to not get it done, but like, hell of a job from like that point on to like come back. Also, what a crazy game of runs, right? So the game starts with Helios on a 5-2 run, right? Mm-hmm. Then Asym fires back with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1. I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A 7-2 run. And then Helios goes on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A 6-1 run to end the game.
Yep.
It was a 5-2 run, a 7-2 run, and then a 6-1 run. Like, what the fuck, guys?
We took turns on this for a month.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time. I was sitting on fucking fire prelate, dude, and in the end, I died in between two of the volcano boo-boos.
Yeah, Helios, he got ping-pong back and forth between the 2 geysers and died.
No way.
That's so funny.
That was actually... You took it so well because I think you realized this gig you're cooked, right? Like the game's over.
Oh yeah.
But that was definitely was that the watching that happen was so funny.
Please become Elden Lord.